Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. This is your Manchester United versus Crystal Palace preview. It's Sunday, 2 o'clock kickoff at Old Trafford. This will be Ralf Rangnick's first game in charge of Manchester United. Recently, Rangnick got granted his work permit to begin work as Manchester United's new interim manager. Revert back to earlier on this week, Rangnick did get announced as Manchester United's interim manager until the end of the season. Then after that, Rangnick will continue in a consultancy role. What? Yeah. Alright. As I said, yeah, in a consultancy role for a further 2 years. Rangnick will be given a £100 million transfer budget in January. Rangnick wants Amadou Haidara. Amadou Haidara has a £33 million release clause. He also wants a Timo Werner reunion at Manchester United, and there's a couple of other players he wants. Before Manchester United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Now, Manchester United are coming into this game against Crystal Palace on the back of a 3-2 win against Arsenal. The goals against Arsenal came from Cristiano Ronaldo. He scored 2. Ronaldo now has over 800 goals in his career. And Manchester United's other goal came from Bruno Fernandes. Arsenal's goals came from Emil Smith-Rowe and Martin Odegaard. Of course, revert back to the game against Arsenal. It was Michael Carrick's final game in charge of Manchester United. Recently, Michael Carrick stepped down as Manchester United's first team coach. Carrick was the interim manager for 3 games. He won 2 games out of 3. The other one he drew. Manchester United have players missing. Wan-Bissaka, he's got an injury. He played no part against Arsenal recently. Diego Dalot started ahead of him. Dalot put a very good performance out against Arsenal. Matic, he's also picked up an injury. He's a doubt for this game against Crystal Palace. Pogba, he's still out with a thigh injury. Pogba is out for the rest of the year. Varane, he's still out with a hamstring injury. Shaw, he's recently been out with a concussion. Luke Shaw has missed Manchester United's last 3 games. Edinson Cavani, he's still out with injury as well. So there you go. Crystal Palace, They're coming into this game on the back of a 1-0 defeat to Leeds. Crystal Palace are sitting 11th in the Premier League. The Crystal Palace manager is Patrick Vieira. Palace appointed Vieira in earlier on this year. Vieira has got a contract with Palace until 2024. Before Crystal Palace, Vieira managed Nice. Before then, he managed New York City. And before, he managed Manchester City's under-19s. Before Patrick Vieira, Crystal Palace had Roy Hodgson. Hodgson left Palace at the end of last season. I do know quite a few of the players Crystal Palace have got. Obviously, one of their key players is Wilfried Zaha. He's probably their best player. Don't forget, Wilfried Zaha is a former Manchester United player. Crystal Palace have also got Christian Benteke. Palace have also got Jordan Ayew. I like Jordan Ayew a lot. Crystal Palace have also got Robert Street. They've got Matetia. Palace have also got Odsonne Edouard. They got him from Celtic last summer. You know, he's a decent player. Crystal Palace have also got Jeffrey Schlupp. Palace have also got James Tomkins. They've got Joel Ward. Joel Ward is suspended for this game. Crystal Palace have also got Conor Gallagher. He's on loan at Palace from Chelsea. Palace have also got Ferguson. Ferguson is out with injury. They've got MacArthur. He's out with injury at the moment. They've also got that Anderson. He's out with injury. Crystal Palace have also got Will Hughes. Crystal Palace got him from Watford. So they are quite a few of the players Crystal Palace have got. One of Crystal Palace's goalkeepers is Jack Butland. They've also got that Remy Matthews. He's another goalkeeper Crystal Palace have got. And they've got that Gitata as well. This fixture last season, Crystal Palace won 3-1. It was the start of last season. The game at Selhurst Park last season was 0-0. Manchester United's next game after Palace is Young Boys. That's a meaningless game because Manchester United are already into the last 16 of the Champions League. Manchester United's next league game after Crystal Palace is Norwich. Manchester United will look to get a permanent manager at the end of the season. There's been quite a few names linked with the permanent role at Man United. Not so long ago, there was rumours coming out about Roberto Mancini. He said Manchester United consider hiring Roberto Mancini instead of Mauricio Pochettino. Roberto Mancini is in charge of Italy. He's been in charge of Italy since 2018. He's got a contract with Italy until 2026. Revert back to last summer, he won the European Championship with Italy. Around a decade ago, Roberto Mancini managed Manchester City, and when he was Man City manager, he won the Premier League, he won the Charity Shield. And he also won the FA Cup. Pochettino, I've been talking with you a lot about him recently. Pochettino has come out and said a few times that he's happy at PSG, and it did mention that he won't let the Man United rumours distract him. The other week it said PSG rejected Manchester United's approach to appoint Mauricio Pochettino. There was reports coming out the other week though saying that Pochettino was interested in the Manchester United job, and the Manchester Evening News came out and said that Man United are confident of appointing Mauricio Pochettino as the next permanent manager, and it said Manchester United agreed to pay the 10 million compensation fee for Pochettino. I still think Pochettino is the favourite to become Man United's next permanent manager. Revert back to when Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho. Man United should have got Pochettino then, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. Pochettino is a good manager even though he's hardly won anything. I think he has won a cup with PSG. He's got a full season left on his PSG contract. He's proven in the Premier League as well, which is beneficial because before Pochettino managed Tottenham, he enjoyed a 5.5-year tenure with Tottenham. And before, he was at Southampton. Erik ten Hag, he was mentioned not so long ago. It said Erik ten Hag is said to be interested in the Manchester United job. And Ajax will not stand in his way if he wants to leave at the end of the season. It did mention that Erik ten Hag is Manchester United's alternative target to Pochettino. Brendan Rodgers, he's been spoken about a lot as well. Revert back to earlier on this season, it said Brendan Rodgers was contacted by Man United. Rodgers dismissed the links to the Man United job. Rodgers said, "I'm proud to be at Leicester," but earlier on this season, reports were saying that Rodgers was house hunting in Cheshire, and that stirred some suggestions up, and at that point it said Brendan Rodgers was the favourite to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Man United. So there you go. Manchester United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson. Manchester United sacked David Moyes. Manchester United sacked Louis van Gaal, Man United sacked Jose Mourinho, and of course Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer over a week ago following the 4-1 defeat to Watford. As you all know, Solskjaer did give a farewell interview. And he got emotional in that farewell interview, which of course was understandable because Solskjaer adores the club and Solskjaer was part of the club for a long time. He was Manchester United manager for almost 3 years and Solskjaer endured 11 years as a player for Man United, so that's almost 14 years in total. But despite Manchester United sacking Solskjaer over a week ago, all United fans still adore him. You know, there's still United fans that are chanting his name, obviously reflecting on what he did for the club. But Manchester United certainly made the right decision sacking Solskjaer, because quite obvious he couldn't take the team any further. I don't think Man United really wanted to sack him, but they were left with no choice but to sack him in the end. You know, Manchester United paid Solskjaer around $7.5 million to sack him, because revert back to last summer, Solskjaer signed a 3-year contract with Man United with an option of a further year. And Manchester United made a mistake giving him that contract, because I knew for a long time that Solskjaer was not the long-term manager for Man United. You know, Solskjaer has no proven pedigree as a manager. The club Solskjaer managed in his managerial career, obviously managed Manchester United's reserve team for a couple of years. Obviously managed Cardiff. His record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. The reason he got sacked from Cardiff because he got them relegated. He endured 2 spells at Molde. You know, Molde are not a big club. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, and of course he managed Manchester United's senior squad. Revert back to when Solskjaer was a player though, he had a proven pedigree because he won a lot of trophies when he was a United player. And his most iconic moment as a player was when he scored the winning goal in the Champions League final at Nou Camp back in 1999. Because obviously Solskjaer won the club the treble, and that is the club's greatest achievement. You know, reflecting on the poor performances though under Solskjaer, you know, not all of the blame stemmed from him. You know, he was accountable for some things, because obviously all his tactics and his team selections were questioned a lot, but there was also players that had to take responsibility for those poor performances as well. Solskjaer did not win a trophy as Manchester United manager. Obviously, Ole was not capable of winning trophies as manager. Manchester United have not won a trophy since 2017. I'm hoping Ralf Rangnick, you know, can win Manchester United a trophy this season. But the expectations were far too high for Solskjaer to exceed as Man United manager. Solskjaer was basically in a position that he should have never been in. You know, all he knew when he'd taken over at Man United, it was going to be a massive job. Not only a massive job, a difficult job as well, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. Ole did get appointed in as the caretaker manager back in December 2018. He was a caretaker manager for 3 months. He did very, very well. So reflecting on that, the club decided to give him the job on a permanent basis back in March 2019. But, you know, revert back to the start of this season, you know, when Ole was United manager, I did mention, didn't I, you know, that this season was always going to be big for him, and the pressure was on Ole as well, you know, reflecting on the summer transfer window Manchester United had. Man United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window. You know, Man United made 4 signings. 3 of the 4 signings were major signings. And Man United spent around £141 million. Not only that, revert back to last summer, Solskjaer got strong backing from the board. You know, the Glazers backed him, our director of football, John Murtough, backed him, Darren Fletcher backed him, Ed Woodward, of course, backed him. Woodward's leaving Manchester United, I think, next year. Well, revert back to April, it got announced that Woodward will be leaving Man United. That's when that European Super League came into the equation. But earlier on this season, it did say that Woodward was in talks to stay at Man United under a new role. Woodward's had a 16-year association with the club. So, there you go. So, Solskjaer ran out of excuses. Manchester United spent over £400 million under Solskjaer. And Solskjaer signed 14 players when he was Man United manager. On the other side of things, Ollie also offloaded a lot of players when he was United manager. He got rid of players permanently. He also loaned players out. Manchester United are going to offload players next year. Next year, I think Anthony Martial's going. I think Mata's going next year. I think Cavani's leaving next year. Cavani's interested in a move to Barcelona next summer when his contract expires. Lingard, I think he's also going next year. Revert back to the other week, it said Lingard's future at Man United is in doubt after talks over a new contract collapse. Lingard's contract at Man United expires next summer. Earlier on this season, it said Lingard could leave Man United for just £10 million. Van der Beek, I think there's a good chance he'll leave next year, because obviously Van der Beek's not getting enough opportunities at Man United. You know, if Van der Beek is to get his opportunities now under Ralf Rangnick, then that could persuade him to stay. Revert back to when we had Solskjaer, Van der Beek wasn't getting enough chances, and reflecting on that, he was frustrated. Matic, I think he's also going next year. Like I mentioned earlier, he's out with injury now. Pogba could be going next year. Dalot could go next year. Dalot doesn't really get in the team. Dalot only plays when Wan-Bissaka is not available. I also think Bailly and Jones are going next year. Tellez could go next year, and Dean Henderson will go out on loan. Henderson's already confirmed that he wants to go out on loan. Henderson doesn't get his chances now because revert back to last summer, De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back. Henderson's only been in goal for 1 game so far this season, that was West Ham in the Cup. Revert back to earlier on this season, Henderson was out with COVID for a while. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.